Last session, you entered the ruined chapel to retrieve what Grethik had hidden there 10 years ago, on the night the keep was destroyed. A small pouch from a cavity in the altar holding 23 gold and a plain ring he pressed into Ulric's palm. On exiting the old chapel, Grethik once more shrank away from the overgrown pond, reliving tales of old tentacles. The rest of you set about extinguishing the blaze ignited by Warwick's oil in the fight against the plant creatures. Ignoring Grethik's increasingly shrill cries, reasoning them to be the product of a cracked mind, you scooped water from the pond with Jasper's frying pan, sending wet smoke curling into the spring dusk. With the fire quelled, you considered your next move. On the climb up to the keep, Grethik had pointed out the partially submerged cave where the Sea Devil's men had taken the villagers. You scrambled back out over the ruined walls and examined the rocky island in the fading daylight. Jellicoe sniffed the air and remembered a time before adventuring when he was a humble fisherman. He reckoned the tide would crest at 2 a.m. and fall by morning, but the missing villagers, one possibly Warwick's mother, wouldn't wait for the convenience of morning and full light. You chose to go now. Returning to the beach, the wind sharpened as you launched 3 leaky fishing boats with 2 of you in each. Waves slapped the hulls. Jasper stood in the prow of the first boat, beating time to those sweating and rowing and cursing behind him, and rowed the white spray to the island's sea cave. Pitons bit rock, lines held, and you stared at a narrow throat of water with a hand's width of air at the top and total darkness beyond. Thelgrum's night sight led you, heads knocking against the limestone ceiling and fingers grasping for handholds on the slick walls, until a pocket of air widened and you surfaced into a huge grotto. There, a sea devil slouched on watch, trident lazy, guarding a tunnel leading deeper into the rock of the island. Waiting until the sea devil was distant and facing away, Thelgrum emerged from the water and glided silently across to a nook in the rocks above it. Jasper vanished beneath seaweed, flopping like a fat seal across the stone and making barking sounds. The sentry angled toward the sound. Then Jellicoe's lantern flared. The creature spun as Thelgrum hurled himself from a ledge and crushed it flat. Water and limbs thrashed, steel kissed scales. The guard bucked the dwarf off and jabbed for his leg with a knife, but Warwick slid behind and drove a blade home. Silence returned with the taste of brine and iron. You took the trident and a sharkskin helm and pressed on. The next chamber stank of rot and tide. On the wall, a painted god of tentacles presided over offerings and sacrifice. Among shattered furniture and fish bones, 2 green draughts lay neatly placed. A cautious taste proved them healing potions, pocketed for emergencies. At a flooded junction where currents split, you steered left, sloshing shoulder to stone down a dim corridor. You broke into a larger grotto, steps shelving into a dark pool where a shadow slid just out of sight, and across the water a man and a woman huddled in terror. A sea devil stood guard, trident ready. You spread to the ledges, light glinting on wet rock, and measured the distance. Between the captives, the sentry, and whatever circled below the surface, you braced for a decisive strike before the tide turned the whole cave into the sea's mouth.